and welcome to the Kindred Essence Tarot and to your full moon prediction or message. So pick a pile between 1 and 3. We've got pile 1 is the red flashlight pile, pile 2 is the green flashlight pile, and pile 3 is the purple flashlight pile. So pick one of those piles and then let's get started with pile number 1, the red flashlight pile. Alright, hello pile number 1, the red flashlight pile for your full moon prediction or message. And let's see what cards we have here. We've got the Wheel of Fortune, the Tower in reverse, Ten of Swords in reverse, and the Page of Cups. So this looks to be a very, let me get these cards so they're in the frame. Let me make sure they're on the frame. Yeah, this looks like to be a positive message because we've got, number one, we've got two cards together that are in reverse, the Tower in reverse and the Ten of Swords in reverse. So that shows that you're releasing a lot of energy to do with, the first word I heard was depression, like a lot of depression. And then it could be depression that has been linked to a lot of trauma, like people leaving your life. I heard that you didn't think would leave your life, and that's something that has caused you a lot of emotional distress. It's almost made you feel like almost childlike again in a lot of ways. Like it's made you feel like just a sense of returning to these emotions that perhaps you just wanted to sweep under the rug. So perhaps some of the good parts of the trauma that you've been going through is that it sort of unearthed a lot of emotional distress that's been in you for a long time. And I see that it has not been pleasant for you in the last year, or I heard 8 months in particular for some people in the last 8 months. Like there's just been a lot of chaos, and you've thought, oh, when is this ever going to end? But then I see with the Wheel of Fortune, it's I see that there are these energies are sort of looking in on these two energies that are reversed and thus leaving. Like really reversed means that an energy oftentimes it's about to release or it's close to release. So but I keep on getting that the what you've gone through has been very close to events, like what you've gone through, events in your life. Like sometimes people feel depressed. It doesn't even matter like what's happening in their life. It's just an energy, but it's almost like these traumatic incidences have just been unearthing this stuff that's going on with inside you, and it's almost like you felt very helpless, like almost childlike, like all, well, with the Page of Cups, like feeling like, oh, all I can do is watch. That's the word I hear. All I can do is watch, and you felt such a sense of helplessness. But I see with the full moon that it's going to sort of up level you to another cycle. I hear like it's going to up level you to another cycle where these energies are finally released. And a positive part of this too is I feel that this stuff that you've gone through, it's been painful, but it's unearthed a lot of stuff that's been inside of you for a long time, and you were sort of forced to go within. So I see with the Wheel of Fortune in the upright, it's you're leaving this behind. Both these characters are on the outside, and they're you see this angel right here. It's turning into a different direction. So you'll be leaving these kind of energies behind too. And I was called to go to the Gypsy Oracle card too. So I heard house. So something about, I heard that some of the, it's going to relate to different aspects of, like I heard that for some the trauma that you went through involved your house, like being up upended into a bad situation. But and I hear that this new up levelment will mean a different living situation for you. It will mean like there's as you release this energies, you'll be in a much, I hear, happier home, a very like happier living situation. That's because I see that there's been a very almost dark energy around you for quite some time, and this kind of trauma of the last, I keep on saying 8 months, but it could have been the last couple of years too. but it sort of unearthed it and has not been pleasant. You've gone through the ringer in terms of the, emotionality with the Page of Cups, but it's like you're finally going to go into a better situation, definitely a better situation. I also heard five from the bottom, so it's like I heard hope. I heard the word hope. Like you've felt a very strong sense of hopelessness when you were at the worst of this situation. You almost felt, very, very, very down, like very, very down. But I see that this new, or not this moon, the full moon in Leo, I believe it will help you to sort of up level, like this energy. And I heard them say, don't be afraid if you start to feel like your emotions get even more intense with this, and you might be feeling like, oh no, well this this will never, like it might, your emotionality in regards to this new moon, or this full moon cycle that we're going through currently, like starting on the February the 5th, I think, to the February the 5th to the February the 20th, I believe. Those are the kind of the start is the February the 5th, and then it goes to the February the 20th. If you have emotions come up that are kind of shocking within yourself, like, don't, I hear them say, don't be alarmed at this. This is just, and I see this image of the 10 of swords, just those swords being plucked out of this character's back, and you're going to feel freed from this situation. And since it's the 10, you can finally go on to this new cycle, because I hear it is complete. It is complete. So but I hear that you have to take responsibility too, and just in terms of feeling your emotions, not running away from them, um, and just holding yourself together, I hear, as best as you can when you're going through this, and just not being alarmed at your emotions, not being alarmed at them. And I also hear fortune. So it's, if you can, so that goes with the wheel of fortune. That's interesting. So I see as if you could ride this, sort of release, intend, use the intention that these swords will be plucked out of you. And I hear that for some, this cycle is not only dealing with stuff that's happened to you in the last 8 months or the last couple years, but it's something that's happened. It's really unearthing something that's been with you for quite a long time. I hear since childhood for a lot, from with the Page of Cups. So I hear just sort of use this cycle, this full moon cycle, to finally, and it will bring out your emotions quite strongly, I hear, for some. But I hear, don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid when this full moon cycle brings out this cycle within you. Just go with it, allow it, work with it, the energies, to help release those energies. And I hear, okay, my little wisdom depth here, I heard three from the top. And I heard engage higher reason, because I hear that for some of you watching this, you can kind of, I hear that you sort of with the red flashlight too, you kind of, sometimes your root chakra, this sense of survival, takes over, and it's like you sometimes have a hard time rooting out those traumas that are very much linked to survival, I hear. And I hear that this moon cycle, this full moon cycle, is about sort of engaging in your higher reasoning, not ever judging or blaming yourself for your so-called, um, negative emotions, but sort of engaging higher reason, using the high, like, sort of, I hear almost melding the not melding, but letting the interact the root chakra with the highest spiritual chakra, and just bringing a spiritual energy to your sort of your darkest traumas. That's what I heard, bringing a spiritual high energy together to your darkest traumas. That's what I hear. Engaging higher reason. And I also got four from the bottom. And do what you love. So I hear that some of you can be a little bit, or feel a little bit too serious about everything, which is understandable when you've had, a lot of trauma to deal with. It's very understandable. But I hear that doing what you love is very, very important as well too. and to just find that serenity. Don't be afraid of your power. Don't be afraid that, you know, of your emotional your don't be afraid of your darker emotions. I hear for some too. Don't and nurture yourself first. So yeah, like learn to sort of cocoon yourself. I hear work hard at something, but then sort of find that lightheartedness too. Find it. I heard a lightheartedness, but also, acknowledging the what you've gone through as well too. Like also that as well. And I heard 11 from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I heard correct your mistakes. So I hear for just a small number of you, you may feel that there's a mistake that you've made that's so bad you can't be corrected. And I hear that it can be corrected. And I hear that if some of you felt that you've made, and this is not all of you, this is like I hear like maybe 15% of people watching. If you feel like you've made a mistake, it's like it's like it's not. I hear it as them saying it's not so bad, and I hear that the cycles that we're going on to are very conducive to the healing of this, whatever you feel that you've gotten yourself into. It's the here. It will be turned around, and the energies that we're going into, both with the full moon, but also beyond that, with the cycles, kind of the timeline, the existence that humanity is going into, is very conducive to the correction of mistakes and the correction of going in the right direction. I hear you have the capacity to go in the right direction. Don't lose your faith in the ability for you to go in the right direction. You are able to connect to your true inner knowing. You're able to do that. Just know that you can, and when you do that, you will be able to go in the right direction. I hear, and that's what I heard, and that's all I get for pile number 1. I hope you enjoyed that. Now it is time for pile number 2, the green flashlight. I'm gonna put those cards back. I'm gonna put this card back, and hello, pile 2. It is time for the green flashlight. So that's green. Green generally is a healing color, but it's yeah, normally a healing color. But we've got the 2 of Wands, the World, the Ace of Cups, the 7 of Pentacles, and the 3 of Cups. So let's see. So make sure that let me have a drink of water. I was doing so much talking. All right. Let's see. So I was I was drawn first to the Ace of Cups and the 3 of Cups, and I was told that you have a sense of frustration with the interconnections that you're having in your life, and it's causing you a lot of emotional distress. Like connections, it could be with family, but it's also with friendships too. You feel a sense of just disconnection from people, and you wonder, like you're kind of there patiently wondering, oh, will I ever have? There may have been a rupture in some sort of relationship that's caused you a lot of emotionality, caused you a lot of pain. You're thinking to yourself, when will I when will I find my tribe? When will I find people in my life that I'm safe with and everything? And I hear it's very soon. It's very soon. I hear that's part of the new cycle is up leveling your psyche and your sort of your inner self, and just creating something new within yourself. So I heard that you feel that you're worth more, that you're worth more than the kind of people you've found yourself around. I heard like it's just sort of like you've perhaps had people in your life in some cases for a long time, but some people it's just the last little while, and you just kind of want to kind of have an up levelment with that. And I hear that you will. That's part of the full moon cycle, is that you will connect to people that are like that. And I hear the wait is over for that. I hear that for some there may be like, yes, you can have that in your life. You can have that kind of like healthy connection, but I hear that there's something almost inside. There's something I hear. This is not for everyone, but for some people, it's almost there's a program. I want to describe it this way, but like a program in your mind that sort of like that attracts a certain type of people, and it's like, and I hear that you're very, you're very high vibe, but you've got a couple of programs inside of you that attract the wrong people. That's what I hear. Like, I get through this. It's very much that it's like about, people and who you attract in your life, and it's just like what I hear is that you need to release those tapes from your mind in order to attract the people that you want in your life. And I hear that for some, taking a salt bath would be good, and just reflecting on, and I hear journaling to help you understand what that program is in your head that keeps on attracting these types of people. I hear that um, that go within, write it out. Like, I hear maybe just do some free flowing writing, like with the Ace of Cups energy. Just release it, just writing down the energy, what comes to mind. Because I hear that in many ways you have a very high vibration, but it's like you've got these tapes inside of you, and for some you've learned it in different ways. I hear for some you learned it in high school, so for some you learned it in a childhood, for some you learned it in a work situation. There's various places that you learned it, but the most important thing is to get these tapes out. And if you write it down, I even see, write it down and then go over it with a highlighter, and you'll have this aha moment, and you'll understand, and you'll be able to release these tapes. Because I just see this frustration almost with certain people in your life that you're dealing with, and I hear that, yeah, with writing, because Ace of Cups, it can be pouring out your emotions in terms of writing. You will you will be able to figure out what are those tapes that are attracting the certain types of people in your life. Because I hear that your relationships are very of various sorts, are very important to you, and so that's an area that you'd like to. And you may not know who you want to take into this new cycle, but I hear that maybe half, for some of you, half can go and half can stay, and it's different, a percentage it is for different people, but you have to figure that out by, yeah, writing that out, highlighting, and then go into a meditative state, highlight the parts of you, so you can break down what it is, the beliefs that are in you that are lowering your vibration when it could be 100% high. I hear that it somehow gets dragged down to 60%, and once you release those blocks, it will shoot up, and you'll just go to a new up levelment in your life in terms of who you attract into your life. And then I hear that with the world, it will almost be, when you do this process, it'll almost be an ending of a cycle for your life. And you can feel, once you've reached the cycle in your life, you'll be able to look out and be like this guy holding his hands, holding the staff, and you'll be able to have the most confident aspects of this Two of Wands card, which is, I can choose. I can choose between these two wands. I can choose where to focus my energy, and I can have confidence with it so when you release those tapes in your mind. And I also hear with, like, if you intend, like, when you go to sleep, you could also intend that a guide meets you and tell you what they might hand it to you and tell you, and okay, what are these beliefs in your head that keep on attracting these situations. And then this cycle will come to a completion. You'll feel the confident aspects of this card, which is holding in your hand, just feeling like you can hold in your hand and make a decision. So you'll have that confidence aspect of this card. And then let's see, I got 7 from the bottom. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And oh, interesting, I got choose friends wisely. That's quite interesting. So yeah, so my sense is that you've you feel a sense of, yeah, that's just what I picked up at the beginning. You feel like the people with this Three of Cups card, that's about, friendship, connections, all that kind of energy, right? That I got this sense of discontent with that. So it's sort of like, I think you need to go with it. And I hear that instead of having, you may have a bit of paranoia about people, which is understandable if you've had, these really negative experiences with people, untrustworthy experiences of various sorts, I'm hearing. But like, I hear that once you, instead of getting angry at these people, I mean, be angry. You can be angry if you cause that's appropriate, right? It's appropriate to release our emotions. But I hear that them say, like, you use this as, instead of getting maybe direct, once you're over the anger and are sitting quietly with yourself, you can figure out, okay, what are the tapes inside of me that are attracting these people? And I hear that once I see this picture of the tapes being erased. Like, you can go within and then the tapes being erased, and once that they are erased, and I hear for some it's like a dynamic that you've learned in childhood, why these kind of people are still attracted to you. And it could be romantic, and some it could be friendship. It's kind of a combination of a connection to other people. But I hear that once you go within and release those tapes, I see this sense, and I heard the words, a new cassette drive. Once you release the energy from that, you can have a new cassette drive and, like, choose friends wisely. You'll be able to choose friends wisely then. And this energy field, you'll be at 100% of your full, spiritual show, which you already are, but it's just these tapes that are dragging you down. You'll be at 100%, and when you're at 100%, so that in the next, February the 5th to February the 20th, I believe, is the full moon cycle. So that's kind of the process of up-leveling those tapes from you, just releasing those inner tapes. And when those inner tapes are released, then I see you up-leveling to a higher level in terms of who you attract into your life. And just, I see a sigh of relief. I see a sigh of relief, um, in terms of, okay, I can now attract these kind of people that are good into my life. And I see giving yourself a green energy, a healing, I see you having a bath, a nice salt bath, right, with some sort of Epsom bath. And just imagine yourself giving yourself a green energy. All right. I believe that's all I have for pile number 2. I hope you enjoyed that reading. I hope you find it healing and helpful, and that you're going to reach a new level in your life. All right. Bye bye. Time for pile number 3. All right. Hello, pile number 3. The purple pile. The purple pile. All right. So we've got pile number 3. We've got Knight of Pentacles in reversed, the Strength in reverse, the Hangman in reverse, and the Five of Cups upright. Interesting. Interesting. So let's see what I can. Okay, let's see. I heard that the Strength is actually upright, so I'm gonna put that like that. So, um, all right. So the first card I'm drawn to is the Strength card, and I feel like I feel that there's a lot of emotional stuff going on inside of you right now, and that the full moon from the February the 5th to the February the 20th is sort of forcing you to be strong, and to sort of to release all these threads that are tying you to various emotions, to various people, and just to various energies. And I hear that it almost feels like, with the Knight of Pentacles, you're just feeling so heavy, like molasses right now. Because the Knight of Pentacles in reverse is just a very slow card, and you feel like just almost such a heaviness right now. And you're thinking to yourself, when will this energy release? This energy of and I see it almost like an energy in your solar plexus, and it's almost with the Five of Cups here. There's almost a sense of just all encompassing sadness that the that the new moon or the full moon is very much out to release. And I see this as being the most of all the three piles. It's almost the most energy of sort of sadness and depression that the full moon really wants to release and and uh, and just pull through. And I hear that you are already strong. You're very strong and you're very capable of going through that. But I also hear that what kind of energies will help you to do this, because I see you going to a very much a higher level, a very high level, but right now you just feel such a sense of almost, you just feel so tied to everything, tied to so many different responsibilities, just, but not even just responsibilities, but just a negative aspect of the mind. And I hear that what the part of the full moon when it's balancing, I got the card pleasure seekers. Like you'll be able to balance that. I see that once you go within, or it's not even a matter of going within, but it's a matter of it will just naturally bring to the surface a balance. I hear in terms of pleasure seeking, because I hear that for some in this pile, you may have, you know, some sense of addiction issues to, and it could be food, it could be just not, it doesn't have to be like actual drug addiction, but just sort of an addiction to almost like, I hear even to exercise, to like, I hear almost a lot of things, even if they're positive. You may be, I hear for some that you're actually, you can be a very much throw yourself into work, which is a good thing. But it will bring about is you'll know how to balance. It's like you almost, I see for some, you go to these extremes of being too avoiding of work, and then too much in it, and it's just sort of like, and when you use a lot of, I see there's an energy of very much beating yourself up, because when you go too much into work, you know that that's imbalanced. But when you go too much into sort of like self-medicating, that's the word I hear, like it's very much self-medicating, you're like, I shouldn't do that either. And it's just sort of, there's a sense of not really knowing how to put all these aspects of your life together, and even putting, but I hear it's very much starts within yourself. It's like putting the aspects of your, once you put your aspects of yourself together, you'll be able to move forward in life with a greater sense of balance. So I see with the full moon, it's really going to, and I got the word sweetheart. So some of you could be meeting somebody, or it could also be a sort of a renewed level in your existing relationship, this change. But it's sort of like putting this self to all this stuff together will help you find your true spiritual center. Like the purple flashlight is a very sort of spiritual color. So it's just like that once you go within and figuring out the balance between, you know, too much work, too much, you know, almost self-medication. And I hear for some there's a real demon behind this sort of activity, this these sort of activities or these imbalances. There's just like a huge demon behind it. So it's like, I hear that once you slay that this demon is slayed, you will be able to integrate yourself. And I hear that you'll be very shocked at the way that your life comes together and how much better you feel. Like, and I feel that I got the word, or the soldier. You almost, I hear you'll feel less like a soldier and more like a human being. Like I hear for some of you may be, you know, Capricorns or Tauruses or Virgos. Some of you, so not all, but may have the sense of that sort of, that sometimes you feel like you exemplify the worst aspects of those signs. I hear like it's sort of like the sense of like working too hard, but then not knowing where the balance is, and just feeling almost, I hear that some of you feel like an afflicted soldier, like you feel there's this energy, like looking at, like just, that sort of a sadness, looking at the knocked over cups, and it's sort of like this heaviness of a soldier. I feel like almost having this oppressive, and maybe you have also, for some, you may have the sort of this energy of responsibility that's just almost too much, almost. And it's like, but sometimes I hear that sometimes you kind of, you go in an extreme because you feel so responsible, that it's like you go to the other extreme of like, oh, I'm just going to escape this. And then you kind of go back into this heavy energy, and then, oh, I'm going to escape this. And it's like you have a hard time putting yourself together and slaying this demon. But I hear that this full moon will just really bring this demon. I almost saw this image of this slug, this big horrible slug that's sort of on your back almost, and just heavy. It's like it weighs a million tons, I heard, right? And it's like once you release that, you'll be able to be the Knight of Pentacles in a balanced form. Like in a balanced form, he moves forward at a steady state, but it's a balanced state, right? But I see that with the reverse, it's not balanced in its current form for you. It's sort of like going between these extremes of heavy responsibility, escaping, like, oh, this is too much. So yeah, I feel a sense of very much an affliction that you want to release with this full moon. So I hear that if you say, I intend that my psyche, I don't know how, but my psyche will release all energies of affliction and come into a balance. I intend that my psyche release all energies of affliction, and I intend that my every aspect of my life comes into balance. So I hear that that's a good um like affirmation intention for you to say for the full moon, and it will help your life come together. It will help you during the full, or not the full moon, the yeah the yeah, it will help you, yeah, the full moon, but it will help you. Sorry, I just got a, yeah, I just but yeah, like you just, it will help you release that energy, and just like it will help you, like I see that a very heavy energy needs to be released. That's what I see. Sorry, yeah, sometimes when I'm getting information, it's just kind of, yeah, it's hard to sort of, yeah, process it quite right. But yeah, I'm trying to convey what I see in the best way I can. And I'm gonna get another card. I hear 15 from the bottom. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I also got, oh, interesting. So I also got, for some, it's speak up. I got the card speak up. So for some, that may involve, and it's interesting because I hear it, for some, it will be speaking up to other people, but I hear that it's actually, for most, it's actually speaking up to yourself. Like talking to, and it may sound like a very strange concept, but it's like speaking up to yourself, and going, sorry, beginning to explore, and I kind of heard in a new way. Explore yourself in a new way. Speak up to yourself and begin to explore. So I see this new energy coming in, but it's very much a release of an affliction. It's very much a much needed release of an affliction that you've had for a long, long time. And I see, even you may want to do parts work, like sit down and talk to various aspects of yourself. Go in and begin to explore your psyche. Like you see this person right here, they're kind of going within. It's like they're like, oh, a flying fish, all this stuff around that I never really saw before. So I see, seeing yourself, it doesn't normally involve other people, even the speak up, or it may in for some cases, but it's speaking up to an aspect of yourself that, see, my cat agrees. My cat arrived, and yeah. So it's yeah, it's very much um a very heavy energy that needs to be released. So you can be the full sort of spiritual aspect of yourself. I hear, and it's almost like a. I'm just gonna put my cat back here so she doesn't. She tends to knock over the camera when she goes back there, but it's it's almost like this demon that you're not quite aware of, but it will become very apparent with the full moon from February the 5th to February the 20th. It will just pop out, and it almost, I see the moon just gently forcing it out of your reality. It will just be gently forced up to your reality. And this could be many. I mean, this could be an effect in various aspects of your life. I hear like it's I hear it's too many to even name, because it's it's all it's all different. But I hear it's very much needed, and I hear a couple more cards just so I can sort of understand this a bit more. I got 5 from the top and 2 from the bottom. 3, 4, 5 from the top and 2 from the bottom. So interesting. I got the Page of Pentacles and the World, and I hear for that is that a cycle needs to finally complete in your life, like something that you've been sort of. And I hear for some, it's child. It could be with a Page of Pentacles. It's very much something you've been holding since childhood. That's what I get for this particular Page of Pentacles, right? Page of, they're the youngest, and I hear it's something that you've been holding since childhood for some, and once you finally release it, you will the cycle, because the world is an ending of a particular cycle. So what I hear, this energy of this pentacle, in this case, this pentacle is not a good pentacle in the case of pile number 3, and then it needs to be released. And ask your angels and guides to help you release it, and then you could finally have this release, and of being at the end of the cycle, and you'll finally release this thing that you'll that will help, that will just end this cycle, and you will feel 100 million pounds better. That's what I heard, 100 million pounds better. But I also heard that you can trust yourself, like, to know how to do this. And I hear that the moon, the new moon, or the full moon cycle will help you, like, it will guide you what to do. Like, I'm not going to say exactly what you need to do, because it will guide you. And I hear you can trust yourself, and this new cycle to do with the moon will help guide you, and um, it will help you get to the next, that's it, in the next level. So I hear, and I hear just one more thing. The God say that you will know what to do. You will know what it is inside that you need to release, and you will know how to do it. Trust yourself to do these 3 things. Trust yourself to be able to know what it is, how to release it, and also to know when it is released, and just allow the new cycle to guide you on a journey. I hear for some, you know it will be, and you could maybe, even though it's not necessarily sometimes pleasant to release these, it is pleasant actually to release these emotions, but sometimes the feelings associated with them cannot be pleasant. But once they're released, you will have true freedom, I hear. And I heard trust yourself to know what that is and how that will unfold in your life, and know when you were, how to do that and what that means for you. All right. Thank you for listening. That's all I have for Pile 3, and I hope you have a terrific day.